Hi, thank you. Thank you for joining. I'm Mike Harding, and I'm with HPE, specifically the Hybrid Cloud Storage Unit. And what I'm going to share with you over the next few minutes is really a presentation that we did not that long ago at Discover. We were there with Microsoft, our partner, in the Microsoft booth, doing these presentations. They weren't recorded, so I wanted to just do a quick kind of highlight overview, make it available out there, as well as just let you know where to go for more information about this topic in particular, Azure Local, built-in GreenLake Flex, as well as other solutions that we're working on. Okay, so first off, there's a little bit of news here. We were there, as I said, with Microsoft, talking about Azure Local. The news being that the product formerly known as Azure Stack HCI is now called Azure Local. That's pretty much it. Product hasn't changed. The code, well, I mean, the code base does change every 6 months. They're on that modern life cycle, so they are constantly expanding, enhancing it, changing it. Making it better, but the name, the big news, I guess, so to speak, was really that Azure Stack HCI is now known as Azure Local. And Microsoft did a great job getting out there, making sure everyone knew about that. Lots of presentations and soirees and stuff like that. But beyond that, it, as I said, kind of works the same way. So if you're not familiar with it, Azure Local runs on hardware like from vendors like us, HPE. It resides on-prem. And beyond that, you have the Azure Local software, really OS layer that's running there. And on top of that, you have you provision applications, and that could be, they typically tend to be kind of newer, maybe cloud native or cloud connected type applications. It could be things like Azure Virtual Desktop, related VDI, but also we see interesting IoT, POS point of sale. Edge type applications being deployed on it. So lots of cool stuff. But it could be SQL Server, it could be a lot of different things. But then the interesting thing is above that at the management layer, you can see, even though these are resident on-prem, you can see and manage them all through the Azure portal. So that's pretty powerful. So because you probably are running different services or resources up in Azure, you can see it all through one location, manage it. Apply policies consistently, just see it all in one view. So that's pretty cool. So whether it's in the cloud or on-prem, and Gartner recognizes this as being a pretty leading product. And it's interesting because kind of going back a ways, and Azure Local, formerly known as Azure Stack HCI, actually has been in the market for I don't know, at least 5-6 years anyway. But they really didn't come out looking to have a great HCI product. That wasn't the point. The point was, and you actually can see it reflected in this Gartner analysis here, really is about being a distributed, what do they call it, distributed hybrid infrastructure or hybrid cloud infrastructure. And that really is, it's really a dynamite product in that perspective. Really, literally connected to the cloud. It's the best environment to run if you're going to be doing applications that need to connect to the Azure cloud. It's the most cloud connected one from that perspective. You can see along those lines, it really dominates the competition. So great product from that regard. And Azure Local. So we in our business unit actually have had an Azure Local, formerly known as Azure Stack HCI solution, in the market for some time now. The most recent iteration of it is we updated our validation on the Azure on the Alletra Storage Server 4110. And this really was always intended to be, as our previous one was on the Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus, really about high capacity, high performance, core data center deployment. On the 4110 itself, lots of capacity, relatively more than 300 terabytes in that device, even though it's only 1U. So high density in terms of the data capacity, but also high performance, over 300 gigabytes per second throughput on a PCIe 5.0 platform. Also, it was, I believe, across the company, the first product that HPE had that ran EDSFF media. So really cutting edge, high performance storage media as well. So pretty cool product from that regard. And the things, as I said, the things we really targeted, or the use cases, were really around the core data center use, high capacity, high performance. But it could be things like SQL Server, video repositories, a lot of applications like that. Manufacturers are using it for, kind of related manufacturing applications. But from that regard, though, probably a little more niche versus the other solutions available elsewhere from elsewhere in HPE, because we're a large company, we have a number of business units, and so just to give you a lay of the land, our solutions, as I kind of pointed out, the 4110 and on the Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus, as I said, validated designs, really about capacity, performance, core data center usage. If you want pretty much anything else, so smaller footprints, smaller nodes, edge applications, things like that, the ProLiant team, so the compute team actually has a range of solutions, both validated and integrated, that you can get on various ProLiant products. And they're doing really well. They're really dominating the space across the board, so great partnership between us. And then there's also another approach, which is an integrated solution for GreenLake Flex built on Azure Local. So that's where you get really the best of one of those ProLiant solutions, like in this case on the 380, but integrated. So software is already integrated with the hardware. You just buy it as an appliance, and then you have the option to get a number of different levels of services along with it. So they really even take the value proposition one step further. The value of GreenLake Cloud, if you haven't heard it already, is the idea is that we are providing infrastructure resources that still, from your perspective, can be consumed and really kind of behave as hyperscaler cloud environments. Excuse me, that's the basic idea there. So we're delivering infrastructure more as a service, and that also then is carried forward in this Azure Local solution. So you're getting Azure Local, which is kind of a software/service already. The idea then is that the hardware coming with it is also can be bought, as a service in essence. We actually have it metered, so you're going to really just be paying for what you use, and then together you can really go and pay for all of it in a monthly payment through HPE on one bill, and just makes it all that much more convenience. So a number of reasons why, little benefits that come with that. But as I said, I think the big one is really just the idea that you're getting an Azure Local product, which you pay for as a subscription, and now we can bundle and provide the hardware that goes along with it also as a subscription. But it's even better than that because we have it metered, so you're really going to just be paying more for just what you use of that hardware, and we have a whole agreement that goes along with that. All right, these are just some screenshots. So just to make sure you get the perspective here. And so, as we mentioned earlier on, you can, manage all of these various products through the Azure portal, and that's one view. There's also, and I probably should have called this out earlier on, there's also WAC, so Windows Admin Center console. And there are extensions that are developed for that. So we have, for instance, WAC extensions for our, Azure Local on the 4110, as well as for other storage products. And so that connects into the WAC console. So you actually can get also a single view there. This actually is a view from our GreenLake dashboard. And so just think about it from the perspective of an enterprise customer, where you may have Azure Local along with a number of other products you've bought from HPE. You can see all those together in this one console. So they're not competing things. They just give you unified views from different perspectives. In this case, it's really all of your HPE GreenLake products. And so you can see you can do capacity planning. You can see your Azure Local environment there, along with other things that you bought from HPE. It just makes unified and convenient. All right. And then, as I said at the beginning, key thing about our GreenLake Flex solution that we defined around Azure Local is that there are services that go along with it. It can be as simple as, hey, I just want to get some services to get it installed, and I'll take it from there. Or there are different gradients of management that you can get along with that Azure Local environment. They're all part of that GreenLake Flex offering that we have, and they're there really just to make this product as hands-on or hands-off as you want it. All right, more information available. We do a lot more besides Azure Local, but we definitely publish on that, as well as all sorts of other related solutions that we're either validating or integrating on or just doing testing on as well. Lots of reasons why HPE for your Microsoft solutions and lots of Microsoft solutions that HPE works on. So this is just, you can kind of see just from our business unit, not just Azure Local, but Windows Server, SQL Server, Exchange Server, etc. So lots of things we're doing around Microsoft. So more information available online. Thanks for your time.